and welcome to my small little library. Today I thought we'd do the Contradictions book tag, simply because I'm one of those persons, if you ask me like for my favorite genre, I'm always like sci-fi, fantasy, and yeah, I'm a lot of a stickler for genres, to be honest. Just because, I know what I like, and so why not stick with it, right? But yeah, there are a few outliers, and I do like to contradict myself whilst talking, so I also do contradict myself a bit with the books I like and the books I don't like. And yeah, I love the idea of the tag. I'm gonna link the original creator down below. And yeah, if you'd like to tell me the answers to the questions, please do so down below for yourself. I always like to hear what books are kind of like bringing people out of the genre, or which books are like, I love the genre, but like this book was really bad. As to like, maybe don't pick the book, you know? And yeah, I was really in the mood to do a tag video, so you're gonna get a tag video for this Wednesday. So let's start with the first contradiction, which is I love this genre, but I didn't like this book. And this one was really, really sad for me, because the book did get quite good reviews, and that is the genre of fantasy and the Gilded Wolves. I bought this one because I was in the mood for a heist novel, and a fantasy heist novel did sound kinda good. I hated all of the characters, I hated the choices they made, and so yeah, in the end I loved the genre of fantasy and I hated this book. It was one of the first books that got 2 stars for me, because I do hate giving books bad ratings, you know, because most of the time the writing is just fine and it's not just for me, but like really actively dislike the characters. And a heist novel where you don't like hope that the people win is kind of a dumb heist novel. So yeah, because I just didn't root for the people because I didn't like them, the book kind of, yeah, was a no for me. And yeah, I know that a lot of people love the series, and there are more books which I will never pick up, because I just don't think that the book or the series will get better. And yeah, the ending also kind of disappointed me, so yeah, not every fantasy book is a win for me. Then we have the second contradiction, which is I rarely read this genre, but I love this book. And in all honesty, I would place the book in the genre, but I don't know if the official categorization is that. But it's a book I received in a book box, and it's called A Marvelous Light. And I rarely, if ever, read romance books. And this one, for me, is like a fantasy romance, and I really, really loved this book. I still need to get the second one. Yeah, it's really hard to see right because of this like transparent. Yeah, you can see better because of the transparent dust jacket. But yeah, this one really, really positively surprised me, because I think it's one of the few books where I really enjoyed the love story and didn't mind it. And it has magic as well, so maybe that helps it, but yeah. I also don't pick up fantasy romance stories often. So if you take like the cursed genre as a genre, I think it's also fitting for the contradiction. I really want to read the second one, which has like 2 female characters. Yeah. For me, what I find is that I like romance novels more if it's like a same-sex couple. I often find those to be a little bit more nicer, not as drama-filled maybe. But yeah, this one, big hit for me, and I'm really, really happy that I got it in a book box, because I don't think I would have bought it otherwise, because I didn't know it existed before getting it in a book box. So yeah, thumbs up for a book box. Now, we have the third contradiction, which is I love this trope, but I didn't like this book. And for that one, we have the trope of traveling cities, which in all honesty is the only book I've read for traveling cities. But I watched, oh, what's the movie called? It's not that old, the movie. It's a movie about a traveling city, and the book is supposed to be also nice. I don't know. House Moving Castle, for example, I've read, which is also like a moving house, not a moving city, but you know. In theory, I love the trope because I find it incredibly interesting. Hated this book with a passion. I DNF'd it. I never finished it. I got roughly to like the halfway point. It's just, the main character infuriated me so much. Like he gets a wife, they marry, it's like a really, really weird sort of thing. I don't think they're sure they even want to be together, and then he like goes out and sleeps with different women just because his wife won't know because the women live outside of the moving city. Which, like, what is up with you? And it's, other than that, like the main character just being an ass, it's really, really boring. It, like, primarily the first 200 pages or whatever I read are just about laying the tracks. And a little bit about how the city functions. Like, it's a really weird thing. Hated it with a passion, DNF'd it, will never finish it. Really disappointed. I'm really disappointed about it. So if you know a good book about like a moving city, please leave it down below, because I want to read like a really good moving city book, because that's just a trope that I find really interesting, and I haven't had a lot of luck with the trope up until now, you know. Then contradiction number 4. I had this trope, but I loved this book. And for that one, I have the trope of teenage drama and teenage high school drama. And it's kind of funny, but yeah. It's 13 Reasons Why, which like teenage drama, attempted SA, and all of that stuff is in here. I hate it with a passion, to be honest. If I like have a TV series and it starts to pop up, I mostly skip those episodes and stuff, just because I'm not comfortable with it. And yeah, loved this book when I read it. I have no idea if I would love it still if I were to read it again, which I'm kind of tempted to do because I haven't read it since I was like 13 or so. But yeah, absolutely hate teenagers and their struggles. Not their struggles, just mostly the dramas and them being asses. And yeah, obviously a book about a person unaliving themselves and making like her teenage drama and the struggle, kind of like giving that as a reason together with not getting help. Yeah, kind of goes against everything I would like, but I enjoyed it back then, and so it's one of those books that will forever stay in my mind, you know. Because who can tell teenage me that I wasn't reading good books, you know. Contradiction number 5. I love this author, but I didn't like this book. And for this one, I had to take Michael Crichton, Dragon Keith, which this is like, no, it's, I mean, a lot of you know like Jurassic Park, you know, and I thought this would be like a third part as I read the title, and then I researched this a little bit, and turns out it's a Western, which I don't enjoy Western, so that's already a fail, you know. But then it also is like kind of inspired by a true story, but it really turns the facts inside out, you know. And yeah, it was just really boring for me, and I didn't enjoy it. I really, really loved Jurassic Park and The Lost World. Because of like all of the scientific explanations and stuff, you don't have anything of that in here. This is pretty much just like it's a fight between two paleontologists who can get the better like bones whilst working in the Wild West and getting shot at by Native Americans and kind of being angry at them for being in their land, you know? The whole problem with Native Americans and the settlers. And yeah, I didn't enjoy it. It was too much like historical fiction pretty much, and I don't enjoy historical fiction, and I don't enjoy westerns, and I shouldn't have picked it up, to be honest. I should have known that I wouldn't like it, but you know, it happens from time to time if you think you just enjoy the writing of the author and he picks the wrong topic, and yeah. Would I learn from it? Probably not. Contradiction number 6. I previously disliked a book by this author, but I loved this book. For this one, I find it hard. If I dislike an author, I probably won't buy a book from him again. So I don't really have authors where I disliked a book and then bought a good book. But I've read a little bit of J. Christoph, and I did enjoy his Illuminae File trilogy. And after reading that one, I went out and bought Likewise, and then I bought Aurora Rising. And I hated Likewise. I was so angry at the ending that I didn't continue the series. It was so unsatisfying to read that ending, and I felt so betrayed by the book that I was kind of angry at me for buying this one as well, because I was like, then maybe I just shouldn't continue reading him. But then I've read this one and I really like this one. I do also still need to continue this one, but in all honesty, Likewise kind of brought buying his books to a stop, just because at the moment I'm still too angry at that book, and this could be a standalone for me. I don't really need like a second book. I'm also really bad at picking up second books, so that is the reason I only read the first one. But yeah, I liked it after the debacle of Likewise, but I also liked books from him before, you know, so I don't think it's like the best answer for this, but it's the only one I can give you, just because I don't think buying books from an author where you didn't like the first one is the most sensible thing, other than buying them like, you know, at the same time. Now we have contradiction number 7. I love this cover, but I didn't like this book. For this one, I have to get it out again. Babel. Dear Babel. Yeah, I hate you so much. I really love this edition, especially. I also have the grey edition. This one is the Illumicrate edition, so I also have the Fairy Loot edition, and yeah, love this edition. It's an incredibly pretty book, and I really, really disliked it. Because it's too much historical fiction for my taste, you know? But it's pretty to look at. I've read it, so I can put it on my shelf. Which, like, Inverted Worlds, I also have put on my shelves even though I DNF'd it. But if I like the look of a book, I would put it on my shelf, you know? Even if I DNF'd it. And as I haven't ever done a book unhaul, because like I don't own that many books right now, so I have a lot of space still to fill up with books, and I probably won't do an unhaul until I have filled up the space too much so that I need space. So yeah, though I probably won't ever get rid of this edition or the other edition I have of this one, just because it's really pretty. And I mean, the Illumicrate, so they also cost a bit, so it's also like one of those more expensive books, you know. Yeah, can't really part with those books. Now we come to the 8th and final contradiction, which is I don't like this cover, but I love the book. And for this one, I have to be honest, like, this is a really ugly cover. Look at that. It's the Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks, and I have read this one and the second one, and I really, really need to get the third one. But to be honest, I have this edition for the first one, and then the second one I have in the edition that came out as the series came out. I haven't watched the series. Oh, wonder, you know, I never watched them. But there I have the edition where there's the series poster as a cover, which looks equally bad, you know. But yeah, really dislike this version. I think it's a mass market paperback edition, which, like, a lot of the time those look really good, but yeah, this one doesn't. And I'm kind of thinking about buying some pretty editions, you know, secondhand somewhere. Yeah, other than that, really loved the book. I think I gave it 4 stars or something like that. I'm in love with like the long-winded adventure, fantasy adventure stories like The Lord of the Rings, so this one was right up my alley, and so I kind of overlooked that the edition I got was so damn ugly. Like, why would you do such ugly book covers, you know? I cannot understand. What do you do with your books? If you read a book, you don't like it, but it's a really pretty cover, do you keep the book? I know a lot of people who don't keep the books they read, just because they don't want a massive collection of books, which, fine if it works for you, it will never work for me, you know. But I have a problem with getting rid of like really pretty books. So, yeah, that's kind of like a collector's problem, you know. But at this point in my life, I still have more than enough space to store books. And I mean, I not only have this room, you know, I have like a bedroom and like my living room where I probably could store some more books, you know. If my partner won't mind, which he might mind if it gets, if the books take over the whole apartment, but I don't have enough books, so we're not at that kind of like discussion right now. Yeah. Do you own a lot of books, and do you get rid of your books often? I kind of feel like I should get rid of some of the books I didn't like reading, but I have a hard time parting with books, you know, so we'll see. But yeah, that is the tag. I hope you enjoyed it. For me, it's sometimes kind of fun to see like what are the books I didn't like in a genre, and maybe like not reading those tropes anymore, or like searching for other books with the exact trope to get one that I really like. Example for like the Gilded Wolves, I'm already searching for a new heist story, like a fantasy heist story that I like, which I should have read Six of Crow by now, you know. Was on the last TBR, but I didn't get to it again. So yeah, hopefully I can read that next month, and then I maybe have a new favorite heist, a fantasy heist story, but you know, you never know. And I'm rambling, so I'm sorry. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did. Maybe subscribe so that this little community can grow. And yeah, I hope I can see you in the next video. And bye bye!